Yes, indeed. Despite having this disability, if you will. And nobody even bothered. Well, some professors did, but for the most part, they just let her go through school. And she passed pretty well with a degree in special ed. And is today, at the age of 27, the administrative assistant at the Kenya School of the Kenya National Association of the Deaf. You see, even I don't get it all the time. But I tell you, you need to listen to her story. She's the sixth born in a family of 10 kids, and her parents must be so proud of her right now. She has not let this disability be an inability. Georgina Auma, and she's been translated by George Wambu. Nice to see you, my dear. And you too, George.
Thank you.
What was it like, Georgina? I mean, you were 16, you got the mumps, you lost your hearing.
Okay, when I was old, I was 9, I became sick of mumps. Then after one week, I became deaf. So I stayed at home for about 1 year. Then I went back I did not go back to school. I was still in class 3 at that time. So my parents tried to look for hospitals, tried to fix my ears, to know where the problem was coming from, but they were not successful. Finally, they bought me a hearing aid, but it did not help me because the school, they said it's impossible to go back to school with a hearing aid, without a hearing aid. So they just bought it for the sake of going to school. So I went back to school, the same school I was in, the same place, the same environment, same people. I tried to learn how to adapt, but it was hard because of, for once,
would the children laugh at you, Georgina? How did they treat you? And the teachers as well?
The problem, when I went back to school, I did not know something happened to my voice. So in class, I was reading. So the time when I was trying to read, people started laughing at me, making me feel like not good. So most of the time, I refused to read because when I tried to read, people were laughing. So this makes the teacher also become angry. And they started caning me.
They caned you because they didn't know what was wrong with you?
They said I was rude. They were telling me to do something, but I refused to do it. But the problem was, I was not understanding what they were telling me.
Georgina, you never gave up?
No, I didn't. I did never give up. Because when I went back to school, I tried to find something I can do. Before I loved to dance. But they did not accept me to dance in the dance group. I tried to run, but they did not accept me to do so. So I tried to read. This I saw it was best for me, because if I read and read and read, I understand whatever I'm reading. So I took it as a passion, and that was what helped me to proceed well with my life.
And then at Maseno University, the same thing. Were there other hearing impaired students as well?
For now, I hear they have about 3 deaf.
No, in your time?
No, I was the only deaf person there, and I was the first person to qualify to go to university.
Were they sympathetic to you? Did they treat you different? Did they at least try and accommodate you?
Okay, the time I went to the university, I think the university was not aware they are admitting a deaf student. So I tried to talk with my lecturer. Some were accommodative, but some still were not. So the ones who did not accommodate me, I did not give up. I tried to accommodate myself in the university system.
How did you attend lectures, Georgina? How did you manage?
Normally, you know, the time for class you go, then you sit at the front. You try to lip read a little bit, whatever you get, maybe 5 words, but you copy the notes from there. You go back to the library and read it by yourself. That's what helped me.
Georgina, do you think there are a lot of people like you out there? They go through the whole system and nobody has a clue what's wrong with whether they have a disability?
Yes. I know. For once, there are many of us like me there. Some of them are afraid to say. That's the problem. So they keep quiet and they suffer in silence. It's important, if you have a disability, you say, then the people will try to accommodate you. But if the people don't want to accommodate you, it's still fine. You continue with your own life. You look for a way to accommodate yourself in the society.
What kept you going, Georgina?
My motivation was from my family, because when I became deaf, they never gave up on me. So the time I was at home, the family tried to communicate with me through the small ways they could. They tried to write, they tried to talk slowly. They tell me, Georgine, you can do this and that and that. And so from there, I knew my family had I had a lot of support from my family. That I told myself, it was hard for me to disappoint them, because they gave up a lot for me to go to school. But for that sacrifice, that helped me to finish school.
And now that you've reached this position, I mean, you have a job, you have a life. What's the most difficult thing for you? Is it crossing the road and not hearing a car? What's the most difficult thing?
The only big challenge I have is communication. But if you have communication, you can do anything. Maybe you want a big job like me. I dream of having a big job. But when you apply, you can't communicate with the people. They also see you as an expense. They employ a deaf person. They must employ an interpreter at the same time. So that means they're employing two people, and that becomes hard for them. So if you can break the communication barrier we have, and maybe you'll have people in Kenya to learn a little bit of sign language, it will be a little bit easy for us.
Do you think, Georgina, and people like you think you've been left out of the Kenya equation? You think people just discard you and you know, just think you're nothing?
Yeah, I think so. The only problem is that they're ignorant. They're ignorant. Maybe if you educate them, they can try to become aware and maybe be accommodative. But their ignorance makes them see us like we are useless. They don't believe in our potential.
On a social scene, Georgina, you have a boyfriend, don't you?
Yes, I have.
So you lead a normal life?
Yes, because this man is also deaf, so life is normal for me.
And what's that like?
Because you have no problem with communication. We can communicate easily with one another. But suppose I was dating a hearing person, maybe sometimes you go for a date, you need to include an interpreter that will interfere with our communication.
Yeah, and when you have an argument, it's very silent, isn't it?
I think the voice is sometimes there because when you're saying this loudly, your voice is also inclusive.
So what you're telling me, Georgina, despite the disability, it is not an inability, and you all can live normal lives. Is that it?
Yes.
Would you tell people out there who have no hope, people who lost their hearing after a while, and are, you know, and are angry at the world? They don't know how to move forward.
What I can tell them is not to give up on their dreams, because if I remember myself when I was growing up, I wanted to become an engineer, but the system did not accept me. So I had to change my focus to something different. What the society told me that is good for me, I accepted it. But for these people, I tell them, never accept to divert your focus. If people are not accept you as you are, that is fine. But keep your focus going on and to help you achieve your dreams.
Absolutely. And if you had one wish, Georgina, one wish in the world, if you could ask God for one thing, would it be to give you back your hearing?
No. My deafness has made me who I am. And also taken me to many places, which if I was not deaf, I wouldn't be there. If I was not deaf, I will not have passed my exams. I will not have gone to university. Maybe I will have been married after Form 4. But because I'm deaf, it has opened a lot of doors for me. So I cannot wish to become hearing again. I want to stay the same way I am. And also to encourage other deaf girls who are suffering outside there, that there's someone who went through the same thing you're going through, and you can succeed also.
All I can say, Georgina, is I can hear you loud and clear.
True.